Hey guys, Luna here and welcome back to our life. We are continuing our adult journey with Derek, so let's just see where it takes us. Consider freshening up by changing. Tapping your fingers on the top of your bag, you cycle through the options you mind, but nothing felt right. Eventually you settled on using the bathroom and splashing some water on your face instead. As you crossed the apartment, you peeked over at Derek. There's no way that you could know what he was being said, but he shot you an exaggerated thumbs up. You took that as a strong sign that all was going well. You threw your fists into the air, mouthing a silent yes. The way Derek's lips twisted, you could tell that he was trying very hard not to burst into laughter on the phone. It wasn't very long before your visit was properly arranged. The calls were ended, and you were leaving the apartment behind. Derek hesitated at the door and tapping at his bottom lip. He was double-checking his mental checklist. But that too was resolved in short order. You both stepped down into the hall, and this time you remembered to lock the door before dashed down the hall. Hopping into his new car, you promptly took off. The drive was lively. You spent it taking turns telling each other new stories about your families and your latest personal adventures. Thanks to slow-moving traffic, it was a 20-minute drive to reach his parents' new place. Derek was pulled in and automatically noted how lucky you were that this condo had guest spots. Nodding along, you followed as he enthusiastically showed you the way. Derek nodded solidly, but not loudly on the door. They knew you were coming, and it didn't take you by surprise when the door almost immediately pulled open. Miss Cesare joyfully greeted you both. Ah, she looks lovely as always. Hi, welcome home. Without a second thought, she wrapped her eldest son into her arms. Derek gladly hugged her back without the same vigor. Hi, Mom.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, and Luna, too. She ushered the two of you inside and got you first look around. Mrs. Ayres had moved there a couple of years ago, but you never got to visit until now. It was still just as homely and comfortable as their new apartment, their old apartment. When you traveled further inside, you spotted Mr. Cesare sitting at the kitchen table with a chilled drink. He took a slow, drawn-out sip. I must say, it does look very, very nice. And then he placed the cup down and got up to join everyone else. He stood in front of you like you were a newly arrived audience, pointed at his wife, and tattled. Mom made me promise not to get the door. She wanted to be the one to answer. And silver fox you're looking quite well yourself. Mrs. Ayre was unapologetic and owned up to her actions entirely. She went over to her husband and soothingly rubbed his back.
Thank you.
Thank you for being such a good sport about it. Excuse me. Of course, but I have to get my greeting now. Doing exactly as he promised, Mr. Cesare turned from his wife to you and Derek, the two guests in his home. He pushed his glasses higher up on his nose. Hello, kids. I'm happy you came early. I couldn't ask for better visitors. I love your new place. You hugged them as you spoke. One after another, you squeezed Mr. and Mrs. Cesare into a big hug. Their new condo already felt like home to you. Thank you, Luna. As much as we love our old one, we are quite happy with our current abode here. It's been treating us well. Okay. Derek clapped his hands together, and you couldn't help but smirk. The image reminded you so much of your mom trying to bring order to your rambunctious sons. And speaking of, so where are the bros? Same as always, you arrived first. It made sense to you that you'd be in George there. He had been arranging his day on the fly to make it, but why wasn't Nico there? Your eyebrows raised in surprise. You didn't have to ask for an explanation. Mrs. Ayre grabbed about it in an intentional overdramatic tone. That is my question each day. Nico is never home with me anymore. Now that the school's out, he travels into the city as soon as he gets up and only comes back in the evening for dinner. My mother's glooms over her baby growing up was given its silver lining by the father.
Yes.
He's independent.
Maybe.
He is usually, but Mrs. Ayre held her cell phone up and her lips curled into a mischievous grin. She added a wink when she shifted attention to you. I might have sent a text that you two were coming by. I'm sure that'll get his attention. I'll get his butt back here sooner rather than later for a change. Right. It struck you then by Derek's understanding tone that none of this was news to him. They were explaining Nico's habits for your sake. The whole family was as polite as they were perspective. Since we got the time, why don't you show Luna the convent?
Let's go.
I was just thinking the same thing. What do you think, Luna? Want to take the tour? I do. Show me everything. Miss Shazera's delight was evident. She was endearingly looped her arm through yours to lead you directly. Similarly to what Derek had done earlier that day, his parents led you throughout the highlights of their new home. Mrs. Shazera proudly listed all the amenities of the complex offered outside as well. Derek leisurely followed along behind the group, loosely listening to the fun fact list. He had a few notes to add here and there. Sometime later, a phone interrupted the conversation with a loud ding. Oh, sorry, that's me. Partially shifted the phone out of his loose pocket and checked for any important news. He beamed victoriously and let his phone slide back into the depths.
Nice!
George is here. And with good timing, the tour is complete. Let's go meet Junior. The current group left the hall behind and crowded back into the living room, ready for the party to grow in size. As you got there, you had heard a firm and even packed string of knocks on the door. Mrs. Shazera eagerly shouted over the sound.
Huh.
My turn.
All right.
Fair is fair. Cheerily, Mr. Shazera jaunted off and swung the door wide open, knowing that his middle son was on the other side. You summed up. And there it was, although George Jr. Shazera was hardly a junior anymore. Honestly, not that bad. Still the iconic haircut, too. George had not only grown taller than his big brother, but he also towered over his parents. Your jaw would have been on the floor if Derek hadn't mentioned this earlier. Still, from his neat sandy brown hair, his calm expression, and relaxed stance, you knew that this was still the same boy you knew as a kid. George also remained a placid presence in his rambunctious family. They cheered at his arrival and smiled.
Hello.
That's a nice voice change. Hello, I hope I didn't keep you waiting. Welcome home, Junior.
Don't worry about that.
You didn't take long at all. Honestly, the brothers look like they're about the same height. And it looks like the brothers have fairly similar kind of like greenish. I feel like George's eyes are a little bit more yellow and Derek's eyes are a little bit more green, but they're fairly similar toned eyes. Similar, not identical, but similar in nature to the dad's, where his is more of a green, while theirs is more of like a greenish yellow. But yeah, Derek struck in when George was distracted by their parents. He hooked an arm around his brother's neck and pulled him close. George hugged Derek to his side. Said, Derek's already here, huh? Oh yeah, now that they're both open. Yeah, it's the green versus the yellow. Yeah, I am. Never would have guessed that. The brothers let go and gave each other one last light shove. George went over to Phoenix. Hey, Luna, it's been a while. You're all grown up. Tapped it. Excuse me. You tapped his nose. His eyes widened in surprise at your greeting. George awkwardly ran his fingertips down the tip of his nose while he just hung on what to say next. Thank you? I'm not sure how you're an adult now. You noticed the remaining richness left from George's frame. He snagged a drink from the kitchen and settled in. He was joined there by the others and recounted his day so far. Eventually, you all heard the distinct sound of the doorknob jiggling and then turning. No knocking was required for this one. There was only one other person it could be. The last one to arrive for the gathering and the last one to be born, Nicholas. The door propped open with a swish and you saw that you were undeniably right. Hey? Not what I was expecting. Different name, maybe? It was Nico, but his appearance had your Brown's pinching. He was extremely different, yet simultaneously so similar to the tiny 6-year-old you had first met him as. Somehow his hair managed to be even wilder than when he was an elementary school kid, but besides that, he'd become a young man despite continuing to be the baby in your mind's eye. He was sporting a colorful rainbow romper that was fashioned as it was functional, as well as his iconic hair clips around out of the mix of old and new. Nicholas is back! With a roll of his eyes, Nicholas animately gestured and held out his arms. You put back an amused laugh. Oh shit, I live here. That's not news. News is that Derek and Luna are back. He's bounced over and managed to securely lock himself around his big brother's white chest. Derek wrapped an arm around his brother's shoulders in response. Honestly, not at all what I was expecting from Nicholas. I'm not surprised, but because the hairstyle is definitely very him, but the outfit is not. Derek ruffled Nico's long, thick hair before letting him go. It was sweet that the gesture of affection between them hadn't changed, though Derek didn't have to lean down to do it anymore. Hello, son. Thank you for coming. If I didn't know this was Nicholas and he didn't go by he, him, and I didn't know I could have sworn this would have been a woman. Which is definitely saying something. I mean, obviously, flat-chested people do exist, but Walking by, Nicholas gave a short wave to his parents and then elbowed George Shumley as his hello. George teasingly retaliated with a poke to his little brother's side. Finally, Nicholas stopped in front of you. Hey, Luna. Welcome back to Casa Cesare. You can't be that big. That's illegal. You shook your head. Utter shock, you pointed at Nicholas and turned to Derek. He shrugged before you could speak. How did that happen? Sorry, Luna. The law has no power over me. The whole family, Cesare family, plus you, was together again. Mrs. Cesare admiringly looked up at his wife and then at his sons. He secretly hooked his fingers into his belt loop.
That's good.
It's very good. Yes, I wonder if everyone here will be coming back tomorrow.
Of course.
Of course, Dad. Luna and I are going to be here for sure. I managed to work into my busy schedule.
What do you think?
Also, while we're talking about tomorrow, that reminds me. I want to ask if it would be alright for Mr. Holden to join us on Father's Day. It would be a joint party with us and Luna's family. Oh, Cliff? That would be quite an event. I'd be happy to have the company.
I figured.
Yeah, I figured, but I want to ask first. We'll invite him when we go down to Luna's neighborhood later. Thank you so much. Your excitement excellently increased the volume of your thanks. Mr. Cesare cracked an intense smile and then let out booming laugh.
That is all right.
The more the merrier, as Mr. Holden himself might say. I already can't wait.
Wonderful.
Superb. That's exactly what I wanted for the day. Mr. and Mrs. Cesare provided lunch. It was nice for the whole family to be sitting at one busy table. But afterwards, Derek announced that you two should hit the road. I'm gonna get going too. I still have a class later. Are you serious? You've barely done anything. Sorry, Nico. We gotta take out the trip to Sunset Bar before it gets any later. Fine. Me, you, and George are gonna do something together, and not just the Father's Day thing, okay? Something that's gonna be fun with just us. Sighing affectionately, Mrs. Cesare shared a look with her snickering husband. Nicholas is going through the iconic parents are uncool teen phase.
Don't worry.
Don't worry, I made sure to have the whole day free. I promised to come a little early. Derek tilted his head towards you, silently asking your opinion before agreeing to anything. I love to hang out with the boys.
I swear.
Cool, got that. We'll both be there. Count on it. We can do whatever Nico wants in the afternoon, and then it'll be Dad's to pick in the evening. Alright, cool, see you then. With that settled, everyone exchanged their goodbyes and see you soon. You and Derek left in good spirits. He got back into his car, already eager for home. Sunset Bird was waiting for you. During the drive, he sent off a text to let your moms know that you were coming by soon. They knew you were arriving today, but they had no idea you were going to be free to come see them. He also sent a text to Mr. Holden, telling him that you'll be in the neighborhood today. He texted back right away that he'll be home keeping an eye out for visitors. You could already tell that Mr. Holden was thrilled at the prospect. Humming to himself, Derek sped down the highway. The city skyscrapers were far behind you in the distance, and there was nothing but rolling hills of green. It was strange to be sitting shotgun with Derek after all the years of your friendship being trapped in a long-distance zone, but at the same time, it also wasn't. What was arguably stranger was how his presence affected you. Having him there by your side was the most normal thing in the world to you. Soon enough, you began to recognize the landmarks dotting the way to your hometown. Excitement buzzed under your skin. You're ready to get back home. The car flew past the now leaving sign, and you rolled down the window to wave at it. Officially, you're back in Sunset Bird. It didn't take more than a few minutes to drive through the rest of town and into the sleeping neighborhood where you grew up. Derek parked along the curb and both of you slid out.
Nice work.
We made it. The voice actor does an amazing job for Derek, but, honestly, it's not my personal headcanon for Derek. I still feel like it should be, a tone or two higher, I feel like, but obviously, that's just my own personal headcanon. We made it, safe and sound. Derek leisurely leaned on his car. He looked over at the roof at you and lifted a questioning brow. So what do you want to do first? See your mom's or go check out on Mr. Holden? Let's visit Mr. Holden first. If he's not there, then we can try again after seeing my mom's. And if he is there now, then there's a chance he might not be when we're done with the other visits. Sounds reasonable to me. Together you crossed the street and walked up with a familiar door. It was still a little odd remembering that the condo was not only inhabited by one single Holden. Hey, you rang the doorbell and waited. Luckily, the familiar face of Mr. Holden appeared in the doorway and beamed seeing you.
Hey!
Hi. Derek gave a big wave that Mr. Holden returned cheerily until his brain caught up enough to let him speak. You're here. Arrived in one piece?
Come on.
Come on, that's great. Come on in. Read for the two of you to follow inside. He did, and he glanced back at his shoulders to address you further. So weird seeing him with long hair, more loosely flowing hair like that. So what can I do for you today? Well, now that you mention it, I was wondering if you're busy today.
Oh?
I'll be getting a call from my boy, but that's about it. Why? I know you're not really my dad, but I'd like you to be with me on my Father's Day. Nervously, you twisted your fingers while you waited for Mr. Holden's shock to pass. He placed a hand on his chest with a thought giving himself a bit of a jump start. We're going to Caesar's Father's Day celebration. Really? I can come? Yes, I'd love you to if you joined us tomorrow. Luna's right. My family loves you, and he paused, glancing over at you. Derek knew how much this invitation meant. You're important to everybody that'll be there, so would you come join us? You could see the tears start to form in Mr. Holden's eyes. He was trying with great difficulty not to get too emotional.
Okay.
Then I'll be there. Just tell me when and where.
It's no problem.
I'll text you the details later tonight. Great. Mr. Holden shifted uncomfortably on his feet. He was still feeling overwhelmed by the situation, but he shyly faced you. I hope you've been doing well. Things honestly couldn't be better these days. Agreed.
How's it going?
Glad to hear that. And are your moms? Are they doing alright? Never actually seen them yet. We're going over there next. Oh, could I tag along? I was been meaning to visit them, and it'd be nice to stick with you two a little while longer. Yeah, I'll be perfect. Let's move this party across the street. Nothing else needed to be said after that. The newly arranged group pivoted out the door and strolled right over to your childhood home. Without missing a beat, you located and rang the oddly placed doorbell. Ma expectantly answered the door. Eyes sparkled and landed on you immediately.
Hi.
She looks lovely as always. Hello, sweetie. Derek, welcome. A few seconds later, she realized that there was a third, less anticipated guest at her doorstep. She tried buying back her giggles with a little success. Oh, and hello to you, stranger. Hey there. The kid swung by and I thought I'd visit you. What a lovely surprise. Come on in. Come in. Ma stepped aside, grinning widely. She held the door all the way open so everyone could hurry through. Hey, and you look lovely as always, too. I love both of their clothing. I love Ma's dress and I love Mom's skirts. They look very nice. Mom's very straighting out from right before she appeared physically in front of you. She excitedly stopped at her wife's side.
Nice.
Oh, what a great crowd. I want to say hi, Moms. I missed you. I feel like my first reaction is sigh, content to be there. Beneath your arms or both around them. Feeling a bit teary-eyed, he clung onto them tightly. You could feel one of them soothingly rubbing circles on your back. We're glad to see you too, kiddo. We missed you. Derek gently worked his way into the conversation. He didn't miss the way his skin suddenly a shade rosier than before.
Good to see you.
Thanks, Mrs. and Mrs. Mayor, for letting me come by too. It's nice to see you again.
You're fantastic.
You don't need to thank us for that. You can come over any time. You're an excellent guest.
That's fantastic.
And yes, we need to thank you for giving Luna a place to stay. Now we'll need to get to visit with them even more this summer. They shared a knowing look with their eyes alight. They had to be thinking of their big anniversary later in the season. They'll be coming back to Sunset Bird for that. And, you didn't... words. You'll be coming back to Sunset Bird for that. You didn't mind all the traveling. It was worth it. Good point. Happy almost anniversary. Thank you. That's going to be a night for remember, I'm sure. I bet. We're going to have a nice little shindig at the Cypress. What's shaking? You've been busy, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Man, it's been crazy for sure with the move and learning the ropes out, my dad out with some things and other stuff. There's a lot going on. Tell me about it. I wasn't expecting things to be this jam-packed. The group relaxed and hung out in the living room. Each person shared updates from their past and plans for the future. It went on until the sun began to set, and at that point you and Derek decided that it was best to leave sooner rather than later. The end of their visit was accepted with grace. Thanks, bye, and thanks again for coming to see us.
Take care.
Tell Mrs. Cesare Happy Father's Day for us.
I gotcha.
We'll be sure to do that. Mr. Holden remained in his seat. He already planned on visiting with your moms a little while.
See you.
Take care. See the two of you tomorrow. Bye. Great seeing you. With that, you stepped out of the warm embrace of the evening air. Leaving that house, going onto the street, it was something you had done countless times. Believing how much content of that action had changed was hard. You were only there on a visit, and your boyfriend Derek Cesare had joined you. A true twist on the story of older days. Derek had followed you out, but he didn't go into his car. Instead, he stepped onto the center of the road and stayed there. His gaze wandered up the hill and past that off into the distance. He spoke with a voice as comforting as the familiar songs of crickets. Hey, before you go, could we stretch our legs a bit? There's one other thing I want to do while we're here. You don't have to ask me twice. Lead the way.
Thank you.
Cool, thanks. Derek tilted his head in that direction he wanted to go. His mouth hooked into a grin, and then he started strolling, followed at his side. He gently slipped his fingers around yours and made your heart flutter joyfully. Derek moved with wide, carefree strides. He giggled as you linked hands swung with each step. You found yourself headed outside with the residential area of Sunset Bird on and onto the main streets. It had been nice to refamiliar yourself with the area during the Little Johns. Derek got into a conversation going between them.
Man.
Still hard to believe this was even real. Everything with our grand plan, still think there's no way it had been that long, and both want to keep going. What I can't believe is that it took almost 10 entire years. Scrutinizing him, he let himself think about the magnitude of the entire situation. It had been a long time coming. Derek cracked a smile before letting his gaze fall to the ground. The conversation hung on that note. The point continued, and you had a good idea of where he was going at that point. There was something coming up in the middle of the path, and it wouldn't hold any interest to anyone other than you, Derek, and Cove. For the three of you, it was special. Derek crouched down to the ground right where you expected. He smiled wishfully at a decade-old inscription. The writing was well worn, but still visible. He slowly placed a finger over the small print he left in the concrete as a 13-year-old. He was so much larger than he used to be. His finger completely eclipsed the tiny mark, and yet he seemed small again to you in that moment. Next, Derek moved the initials you had made. He dragged his fingertip carefully over to trace it. There's something on his mind that swept him miles away from all of the sun. He had no idea what it would be, and that uncertainty left a sour taste on your tongue. Derek remained transfixed on the concrete and his own internal musings. Gradually, his frown worsened.
This sucks.
Time is a sucky thing to play against. If you mess up, that's it. Even if you try to turn things around later, you're not getting what you lost back. It's just gone. Do you think you messed something up? He chuckled, but it was the furthest thing from being reassuring. You nervously chewed at the inside of your
I
mouth.
really messed up.
I messed up a lot of things. That was all that came of it. Derek pushed off the ground and got back on his feet. He brushed from turd off and took his phone out. He got a picture of himself giving a thumbs up in front of the concrete slab. The solemn air around him vanished.
Okay.
I'm gonna text this to Cove. Wait, I want to be in the picture too. Oh, sure. You held up your hand in the air above the markings, and Derek went with another thumbs up. He snapped another photo. Now it's perfect. Yeah. You caught Derek's gaze wandering off again. He hummed thoughtfully, and you followed his eyeline to the local store across the
Oh,
street.
man.
I just remembered I'm still low on groceries. We could journey over there. We could, but I'm worried things go bad on the drive back to the apartment. Plus, it's been a super long day already. How about we pick something up for dinner and save shopping for tomorrow? My treat. How could I say no to that? I'll vote for takeout. Awesome. Think about what you're in the mood for and let's get going. Pasta. Together you eagerly went back the way you came. This time you got in the car and drove her out Sunset Boulevard once more. Derek ordered from your preferred drive-thru. I guess it'll probably be some type of like milkshake and like chicken sandwich and fries. Because that, if we're doing takeout, that's usually my go-to. Derek ordered from your preferred ticket and temporarily parked in the shade to pass out the goods. He handed you your drink and folded paper bag with your food. You dug it in immediately. Oh, French fries and milkshake is like some of my favorite foods sometimes to get from takeout. Derek's ride was so nice and it still had a new car smell, but he had no problems with people eating in it. He shared his philosophy with the inevitability that lived-in stuff is going to get dirty. He was going to get mad about normal wear and tear. With a big family of busy boys and an inability to keep things pristine certainly must have been an unavoidable fact of life for Derek. You and him enjoyed the meal. It was long finished when he pulled into his apartment's designated parking spots. With sunset dimmed down into the inky blackness, it was hard to see. Derek switched on an interior car light, and as he gathered up the trash bags and bag that the dinner had come in. And I think with that is a perfect time to end this episode, as we're heading in for the night. So I hope you guys have a good day, night, week, month of your lives, and may the stars forever guide your path wherever it might lead you into the future. Bye-bye, everybody, and hope to see you guys again soon.